Hi, this is Andrea Kane, and I am here with you to study The Language of Medicine, 12th edition by Davy Ellen Chabner for HSC 114 at Northeast Iowa Community College. This lecture is on Chapter 1, Basic Word Structure. Our chapter goals are to identify the objectives that guide our study, and you can look at those in your syllabus as well as in Brightspace. We're going to look at how we divide medical words into their component parts. You'll hear a lot about a combining form and a combining vowel and a combining root and how those make things up with prefixes and suffixes. We're going to learn the meanings of those combining forms, prefixes, and suffixes and use those to build medical words. So let's get into it and see what we see. All right, let's analyze the words by dividing them into component parts and relate those terms to the structure and function of the human body. It's important for us to be aware of spelling and pronunciation problems. So we will try and pronounce a lot in these videos, but you need to work on that on your own. And I recommend that you use the Evolve website if you have some questions about pronunciation. So a quick quiz. All medical terms have A, a combining vowel, B, two roots, C, a suffix, or D, a prefix. If you have not yet read Chapter 1, you will want to do that, and then you can come back and answer this question. Which element appears at the beginning of a medical term? This takes you back to grammar school. Do you remember that? The difference between a prefix and a suffix? Hint, hint there. Hint, hint. So let's take a look at a word. This is hematology. Hematology. How do we break this down? Well, if you've watched the study guide video that I did for HSC 114, you will notice that I talked about breaking it down backwards and then putting it back together again. So let's do it that way. We're going to start here with logi. Logi is a suffix. The O is a combining vowel because it's going to connect a root with something, usually the suffix, or with another root sometimes. And then you've got your root. So your suffix means study of, process of study, study of. Hemat means blood. So this is the process of studying blood or the study of blood. Okay? That's how that works. Important elements. The root is the foundation of the word. The suffix is the word ending. The prefix is the beginning. Not every medical term has a prefix. So just be aware of that. Combining vowel is that links the root to the suffix or to another root. And it's usually O. So one of the things you'll notice as I go through these videos is I will point out to you the ones that don't have an O, that maybe have an I instead, or they don't have a combining vowel whatsoever. So make sure you take special note of that because those are things you're going to know. They're little twists and tweaks that you might run across in your weekly assignments or your weekly quizzes. The combining form is a root plus a combining vowel. So you'll hear me talk a lot about an equation, which is the combining root plus the combining vowel equals the combining form. And with that combining form, sometimes we use a prefix, and most often we use a suffix. So let's do another one together, electrocardiogram. If we break it down, again, starting at the back, we're going to start with gram. That is a record or recording of. O is a combining vowel. Cardi means heart, and it's a root. You have another combining vowel, and then you have elector. Elector means electricity. So this is a recording of the electricity of the heart, or recording of the heart's electricity. Either way. Gastritis. Gastritis. Let's take a look at this one. You have a suffix here and a root. But because the suffix starts with a vowel, we don't need a combining vowel in this case. Itis means inflammation, swelling, inflammation. Gastro means stomach, so this means the swelling or inflammation of the stomach. Oh, sorry about that. I went backwards. There we go. All right, moving forward, gastroenterology. Ooh, this is a nice long one. Can we do it? Of course we can. Here we go. Start at the back. Logi, study of, process of study, study of. You've got your combining vowel. Enter means intestines, intestines. O is another combining vowel, and gaster, that's your stomach. So this is the process of studying your stomach and intestines. All right, good job. So what are some rules? You're going to read the meaning of the medical terms from the suffix back to the beginning of the term and then across. You're going to drop the combining vowel, which is usually an O, before a suffix that begins with a vowel. So, example, gastritis is not gastroitis. It's not. You drop the O, you don't even need it in the first place because your suffix starts with a vowel. And then you keep the combining vowel between two roots. So if you have two roots together, you need a combining vowel between them. Now again, remember these are general rules and there are exceptions in every language. So you may run across some really weird ones and we'll just try and point those out to you. So another one, hypogastric. This time we have a prefix. Ooh, interesting. Our suffix is ic. IC, that means pertaining to. Gastro is stomach, and hypo is below or under. So this is pertaining to under the stomach. Epigastric. Again, ic means pertaining to. Gaster is stomach. Epi is on top of or above. So you have pertaining to above the stomach or on top of. All right, let's take a look at some combining forms you're going to see in this chapter. The combining forms and their meanings. And these are things that you're going to want to do flashcards on so that you remember. One thing that I will try and point out to you as we go through these videos is sometimes there is more than one combining form with the same meaning. So you may run across 2 or 3 combining forms that have the same meaning. So watch out for those. All right, let's move forward. Which term means inflammation of the gland? Inflammation. We talked about inflammation or swelling. And that was, I'll give you a hint, it was itis. Itis. Now, I'm not going to give you anything more because you need to be working on these. But I know you can do it. Some more combining forms. Cephalo, cerebro, cis, crin, cysto. And look, for skin, right off the bat, we've got 2 that mean skin. It can be dermo or dermato, and you're going to need to know that based on the word. Which term means study of cells? Study of cells. We talked about logi, hint, hint, and that's all I'm going to give you. Some more combining forms. Erythro, gastro, glyco, noso. When there's a G and an N, you drop the sound of the G. It's just noso. But the next one is gyneco. And in that case, you do pronounce the G. And then for blood, we have 2, hemato or hemo. So make sure you notice that. Hepato, iatro, leuco, logo, nephro, neuro. Onco, ophthalmo. Ophthalmo is one of those words that it has more letters than it sounds like, and they don't appear to go together the way that you would think. Make sure you don't forget that OPH before you get into that TH. That's one of those that you just have to study. You just have to memorize. Osteopathopedo. Psycho, radio, rhino, rhino, sarco. Secto, thrombo, uro. Now we're into suffixes. Okay, here, watch the suffixes. These come at the end. Remember that? Prefix comes at the beginning. It's pre, it's before. And suffixes are at the end. So we have algiocytectomy. And I'm going to tell you right now, watch out for ectomy versus otomy. Ectomy means to remove it entirely. Ectomy means to remove it completely. You've excised it. It's gone. Whereas otomy means to cut into it. Just a hint there. So which suffix means to cut out or remove? Ooh, I think I gave that one away. Emia, genic, globin, or globin, gram, ickle, and some more. Ion, ist, itis, logi, oma. Opsy, osis, pathy, scope, scopy. Cystomy. All right, this is where I was talking about the difference between ectomy and otomy. Usually otomy is preceded by an O, whereas ectomy, obviously, it's an E. But otomy is just making an incision, and it is just cutting into something. And ectomy is where you cut it away completely. You're excising it. You're completely removing it. So make sure that you have that well in your mind. And then just using a Y means process or condition. So now how about some prefixes, those things that come before. Have you ever heard of a prequel in a movie or a prequel in a book? Well, prefix means it starts at the beginning. Not mandatory, but it happens sometimes. A and an mean no, not, without. So watch out for that. Then you have ought or auto for self, dia, end and endo, epi, ex, and exo. Some more prefixes, hypo and hyper. All right, now this is one that is very important, how you speak it. You need to be very clear, because if you're treating a condition and you're treating it for hypo and the patient is hyper, or vice versa, that treatment is not going to work for that patient and could actually cause significant harm. So make sure when you are writing hyper, you know it's above, and hypo is below, and that you pronounce those accordingly, because that is a very significant chance for a medical error. In, peri, pro, re, retro, sub, trans. And I think that's it. Hang on. I think that's it for us on chapter 1. And it is. Boy, we flew through that together. Great job, everybody. All right, I'll be back to talk to you about chapter 2 shortly. Take care. See you soon.